because we all come in with our own mess, there's only so much of other people's mess we're willing to deal with. So if what's it called? If you go into a situation and you haven't even sniffed mess at all, but you're what's it called? You're fooling yourself if you think it's not going to show up at some point. Now, mind you, there are some people whose mess is perfect for you, you know, whose stuff that you are willing to deal with, whose stuff that you are willing to work through. I consistently respect people for that, because that means you found a real one.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Let's Rap podcast. This is the latest episode 17. I am your co-host, Philosophical.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Echo. What's good?
Let's go ahead and get the preliminaries out of the way. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please make sure you like and subscribe, comment. We would love to hear your feedback.
Yep.
And follow us on all social media. Jay Echo finally joined the internet era.
Took a while, but I'm here.
So he's here. We're catching up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about what I call the quote unquote baddie era. And what that mainly means is I've been watching a lot of videos and listening to a lot of people online. And we've been kind of talking about this before, where I think a lot of people men and women are starting to really focus on the physical looks to things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by all means, but let me give a caveat to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have someone, your significant other, and you feel and look at them physically attractive, physically appealing, that's you. That's on you. I mean, that's meaning that what I'm trying to say is basically she's beautiful to you and she has a beautiful soul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you struck gold, my people. And that's ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You struck someone that is attractive to you and has a beautiful soul to you and brings a component to your life that's needed in your life for you. Oh, you struck gold.
Yeah.
But we're specifically talking to the men and women. We'll start with the ladies first that tend to think that all they bring to the table is their body.
Or all they need to bring is their body.
Well, some people come with the pre-package of having a nice body without some women are in the gym all the time, mainly focusing on the body. So basically what we're talking about here is that I think we're going to start with the ladies here. I think, ladies, that a lot of the men have smartened up to the fact that you look beautiful today. Yeah, you have a great body. But if you do not have a great personality along to go with that, men are exposing that very quickly. Very quickly. And I read something on Facebook the other day that nowadays, and this is going back to the fellas, that a lot of women aren't settling just for the we'll keep it real, for the bullshit anymore, for the nonsense.
I mean, they shouldn't. Nobody should.
But it seems that we as men, we're settling.
That's on us.
we're settling just for the baddies, the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why? You want to know why, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of fellas, because it starts with us, we are attracted to what we see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as soon as you get that prize, and this is where I get to, you better have someone that has a beautiful soul, a good character for you. You trust their judgments. You're loving them not only for the way they look, not only for their body, but for who they are, because that matters.
Yeah.
That matters. If you have all those things, by all means, you have struck gold. Believe me, I have struck gold. And I'm talking to the people that are, ladies and gentlemen, that feel that you can just get by off your body and looks alone. The Kim Kardashians in the world, the Kardashians in general, all that is plastic surgeries. All of it.
Mm.
And yeah, I always have a phrase that what you see on the outside, the appearance world, in special appearances on camera, on social media, and all that, you have no idea what they're going through inside of their home.
Mm.
They may have the nastiest attitude in the world. And based off of Kim Kardashian's track record, whether it's her fault or not, there's a reason for everything.
True. Yeah.
So I'm talking to the ladies and gentlemen that the baddies that feel like they can flaunt their bodies, sell a certain attraction. You're putting that in the air. And fellas, we're smelling it like dogs. The scent is in the air. The scent is in the air. And you know what, fellas? That's all we're looking at because it's temporary. Now, if you, like I said before, I got to keep putting caveats behind this to my fellas because there are a lot of fellas that out in the world that I know, that I personally know, that have got queens in their home. Beautiful as ever. And you know what? You know why their relationship and marriages last longer? It's because of who those women are. And I always look at this phrase that men build the ship, but women steer it.
Where'd you hear that?
I created it 10 seconds ago.
Okay, good. I was about to read whatever you read, but I mean,
okay. Well, hey, I know you said you're taking notes. I hope you keep that in your notebook.
Yeah, it's
I love this guy, man. He's always taking notes, man. So, but it's just I've been listening to Kevin Samuels off and on because there are some things I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but there are some things once you dig through the weeds of what he's saying, a lot of it can come. And I know me and Jay kind of talked about this offline to where he listens to him off and on, but when you dig through the weeds, listening to Kevin Samuels, there is some light there. Yeah. But some of it, you just gotta take it with a grain of salt and really interpret it as I'm not injecting that in my life.
Yeah.
But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to put a stamp on things that men are getting smarter.
Finally.
Well, so I'll say some men.
Okay, cool.
Some men are getting, and it tends to be the older men. In the 30s. In the 30s.
Yeah, I'd say what's it called? At least for me personally, I'd say I've started because in your 30s, you hit that point where you're starting to feel less invincible, and you're also starting to realize that you have to start making more permanent decisions. So you have to examine things a little bit closer.
Yeah. And you know what? I tend to think that one of the reasons why, I put me and Jay in that situation because we're all men. We're all like sniffing dogs. And we gotta go outside and smell something. We're all like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I look at it like, and we talked about this where when a woman's not, if you guys are in a serious relationship, married, or even dating, to a certain degree, when a woman steps out of her house, in so many words, she represents you. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of times some people, some men, some ladies tend to find a man who's handsomely attractive, find a woman who's beautiful beyond earth, and they want to step out with that attraction, that attention. They want the eyes on them. And hey, that's sometimes I got to put caveats behind that because sometimes that's part of a person's personality. But when you get older, you start to get wrinkled. You start to having to feel the back pains.
Yeah.
You start to feel like, man, I don't feel like going to work tomorrow. Or like, man, I don't feel like going to a 5-star restaurant after we just went last night.
Yeah.
You start to live with the person.
Mm.
And a lot of those personalities and who that person is starts to come out.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
this is where it comes off to where and this is probably could have been an episode of the drop off for real.
you're getting yours out. I'll get mine out in a little bit.
So, and not only that, the body and attraction that has seemed to have spewed within not only being out on the street, but now it's spewed over to the internet
Oh
to
yeah,
where it's so many platforms as far as, the OnlyFans, the Twitter, the Instagram models, even on Facebook. It's all over there. It's in your face now.
Mhm.
And men, I'm starting to think men have gotten smarter to where, yeah, I'll look at you for 2 minutes, but I ain't taking you home to mama. I ain't taking you home to be family.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So for me, I'd say I agree with you on that point in the context you're speaking on it,
Uh-huh.
and like, yeah, yeah, you'll see something or someone that's nice to look at, I mean, Instagram is essentially built on stuff that's nice to look at,
Mhm.
um, flexing for the gram and all that. But you also referred to it earlier, the Kim Kardashians of the world, the all of that stuff, all of that shiny stuff that you see that you feel like looks good, I mean, everybody, all that glitters isn't gold. Everybody's
Yeah.
got their mess, everybody's got their baggage, everybody's got their stuff. And if their stuff does not does not mesh with your stuff, it doesn't matter how shiny it is. Eventually, you're not going to want to deal with it.
That's true.
There's we all come into situations with our own mess. Like I say that all the time, but because we all come in with our own mess, there's only so much of other people's mess we're willing to deal with. So if what's it called, if you go into a situation and you haven't even sniffed mess at all, but you're what's it called, you you're fooling yourself if you think it's not going to show up at some point. Now mind you, there are some people whose mess is perfect for you, you know whose stuff
Mhm.
that you are willing to deal with, whose stuff that you are willing to work through. I consistently respect people for that, because that means you found a real one. If you're willing to work with them and they're willing to work with you, then by all means, that's your partner. That's the person you, like we say, that's the person you take home, that's the person you build a life with.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if the only part of their mess you've seen is that they couldn't get their nails done this past Saturday, you might need to look a little deeper, homie. Or they didn't make it to the
Wait
gym
a
this
minute. Now, now, let's. What if they said they didn't get their nails done Saturday, but what I mean, man, that crypto went up 10 cent Monday. What do you do? Hey, that's a 50-50 lottery right there.
I mean, but
What do you do?
I understand that, but at the same time, the what's it called? My point sort of remains the same. Like, you are seeing something outside of just my nails aren't done, you know.
Correct, yeah.
But that's still, like, that's one thing plus a little bit of their finances that you see. That who knows, they might have spent their entire inheritance on crypto, and that's why they're so worried about it. They have no idea how to use money, and they're just using buzzwords to sound smart or whatever the case may be, or
Mm.
they don't have an actual financial plan. They're just trying to get rich quick, whatever the case may be. Like, you don't know. And that's the thing. The only thing that teaches you about a person is time.
Correct. Correct.
That's
How
it.
much time are you going to give that person?
Yeah, and sure, there are red flags and there are indicators that might pop up that lets you know right away, like, oh, this person doesn't deserve my time. There's
Give
that.
some examples. Give some. I would love to hear. I'm going to give some after you give some. Give some examples and your ideas to where like, I don't think it's going to work out.
Okay, so here's a situation I found myself in,
Okay.
and this was when I was younger, so I'm not even sure that I played the entire thing properly either, but
Okay.
this is a situation I found myself in, right? So I was in Ghana for vacation. Uh and me and my family, we went out to a club, and we were, what's it called? We got a table, we had bottles, all of that sort of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, this woman came up to our table, and we were talking and everything like that. And I mentioned at one point, just like, oh yeah, like, give me a second and I'll get you a drink or whatever the case may be.
You said that to her, right?
Yes, I said that to
Okay.
her to
Okay.
start with, right?
Okay.
And then as the night went on, like, of course I was drinking at the time, so I went off, started doing some other stuff, and like, was living it up, doing my thing.
Mm.
And then I saw her again, and
Was I
the
with you
first
that
thing.
night?
Huh? What?
Was I with you that night?
Ah, no, 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 you weren't with me.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
This was in Ghana. This wasn't in.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So and and the first thing she says to me is, I never got my drink. And I was like, okay, cool. What? So, all right, fine. Whatever. Let me go. So I got her a drink or whatever, and basically that was the end of our conversation. Like, we didn't speak again. So I went off and I started doing my thing again, like, having fun.
Okay.
And then at the end of the night rolls around, and I'm trying to figure out, we're trying to figure out, like, what's going on with the table, if it's been, make sure finances are straight, all of that sort of stuff, make sure everybody's getting paid who needs to get paid, all that sort of stuff, right? And then at the end of the night, she rolls up on me and she's just like, yo, what are you doing? Like, are we going home? And mind you, at this point I'm kind of drunk, so I'm like, I mean, sure, yeah, we can go home, like, all that sort of stuff. And she's like, so I'm like, but how what's your plan for tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. And essentially, just every interaction I had with her was about me spending money, right? And eventually I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I ain't doing that. By all means, you have a good night. I'm going home. I'm catching a nap. Be easy. And, like, the fact that every time I spoke to her, money was involved immediately pissed me off.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay, you're only here because you see me flexing a little bit. Now, mind you, I'm only flexing because I'm on vacation and I worked for this money, right? Like, I'm not flexing because this is just what I do. Nah, I'm on vacation. I'm chilling. So those interactions immediately told me, like, this ain't what you looking for, dog. Don't even do it. And sure, some people may say, like, I mean, you were there to have fun, just chalk it up to the game, have your fun, and then you don't have to speak with her again after. But that's not my personality.
So I think that goes into kind of where you may have met her at. You know what I mean? That kind of plays a
No,
part of like,
that's also a part of it, but
yeah.
that goes back to what we were talking about in that, like, yes, I was slightly drunk, but I was sober enough to recognize that, like, yo, this person isn't what I'm looking for right now.
Well,
Right.
you're definitely a special guy because you must have the Midas touch because you were drunk and she was probably bad and you still was like, nah, most
Mhm.
dudes ain't doing that.
I mean, but I mean, now mind you, I'm
Or
not
the drink wasn't that strong.
yeah, by that point in the night, I was starting to sober up. Like I wasn't sober, but like I was starting to come down off my off
Okay.
the drink
Okay.
wasn't hitting as hard. But at the same time, it's like, yo, I know good and well, I know good and well, even if something happens tonight, I'm not gonna want to talk to you ever again. And rather than being that dude who like just shows up, gets what he wants and dips, I'm gonna
Yeah.
save both of our time and just call it a night. Cause at the end of the day, I'm not hurting for anything right now.
That's true.
Like I'm gonna have other opportunities to meet people and to interact with people. And if my game is right and the person feels like it, something might happen. I'm not desperate for this.
So,
So if I'm not
okay.
desperate for it, then why am I jumping through hoops? Why am I doing mental gymnastics to justify continuing this interaction?
Okay.
And
So,
go ahead.
so, okay. I see what you mean. Because I mean, to add a little context to that, I feel like the desperation mode is more on, like you said, a person's kind of your interaction with the person.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you probably felt like, this interaction isn't going well, so I'm not even gonna waste my time. I think for me, uh, just kind of an example was that it's and this has probably happened to everybody where, let's say for example, if let's turn that situation like if you're in the club or you're in a grocery store, wherever, bookstore, wherever, and you see this fine chick, I wouldn't call it a chick, I say a woman. You see this fine woman, you step up to her, you say who your name is. Because remember, we talked about it, you really only got a 3 to 5 minute window
Mhm.
to plead your case to a woman.
Mhm.
You fill in there, you give her your number or you get her number, you kind of interacting. Um, I just don't like that part where it's a game. It starts to become more of a game.
Yeah.
It's more of a competition. And some of us fellas, we fall into that trap where it's like, all right, man, you know, I'm 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 more than who I am as far as I'm gonna show her. And we
Mhm.
stick around, we stick around, we stick around, we stick around. Um, and it's just it's that's a tough role to be in because you're putting more and more feelings into someone that doesn't feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
And you know what that's called? The friend zone.
Oh yeah. The friend zone done got a lot of people. A lot of
Oh
people.
yeah. And from experience, uh that grave is deeper than the bottomless pit.
Oh yeah. Once you're
Once you're
officially
in the friend zone, that is it. There is no way out. And I would love to hear the people that disagree with that.
I mean, if somebody had, I mean, I would say that Hollywood has perpetuated, I won't even say a myth, but has perpetuated this story that you know, as long as you stick around long enough,
Yeah.
the other person will eventually notice you.
Correct. Correct.
And I find that that is the most, at least in my interactions, that is not the case at all. Like,
That is the end of episode 17, part 1. To be continued.